Hi, I'm Kevin, a digital marketing associate with SmartThoughts. We're a vendor-neutral software advisement firm, and since 2002, we've helped over 200 associations and nonprofits navigate their technology decisions, all with zero commissions from vendors. Today, we're taking a close look at idealAMS. Let's start with a number. $150,000. That's what our data shows is the average cost of making the wrong decision on an association management system. It's a huge figure. We're talking wasted money, lost time, and a whole lot of staff frustration. So yeah, the stakes are incredibly high. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or, well, the $150,000 question. We're going to break that down today. We'll look at the facts, its real strengths, and just as important, the trade-offs you need to consider. Okay, so let's dive right in with the objective, citable facts. Who are these folks, and where do they really fit into the broader market? At its very core, idealAMS is built on this really interesting hybrid idea. The goal is to give you the powerhouse data capabilities of Salesforce on the back end, for all your staff operations, while giving you the total creative freedom of WordPress for everything your members actually see and touch. Now, what's really key to understand here is the company's backstory. While idealAMS is a modern platform, its parent company, 108 IdeaSpace, has been working in the association world for over 30 years. That is a huge signal of stability and deep market knowledge. So, based on our internal framework, we classify idealAMS as a Tier 2 solution. What does that mean for you? It means it's built primarily for that mid-market association. But because it's built on Salesforce, it definitely has the architectural chops to scale up for larger, more complex organizations. All right, so how does this whole dual platform thing actually translate into real strengths? Why would an association specifically choose this pretty unique setup? And this, right here, this is the heart of their value proposition. It's that classic best of both worlds argument. On one hand, you get the super robust, secure data crunching power of Salesforce for all your internal work. On the other hand, you get the almost infinite design flexibility of WordPress for your website and member portal. And this isn't just an abstract idea, right? It translates into a really solid feature set that covers all the core things an association needs to do. We're talking everything from complex member management and event credentialing to running some pretty sophisticated marketing campaigns. The essentials are all there. And remember that 30-year history we talked about? Well, this is where it really pays off, in client support. You see it in testimonials again and again. Clients praise the team for their expertise and their knack for solving problems, which, let's be honest, is something that often gets overlooked in the sales process. Okay, but here's the thing. Every big architectural choice is a trade-off, so it's absolutely crucial to understand not just what you gain with idealAMS, but also what you might be giving up in return. And this is the main trade-off. That powerful, flexible, best of both worlds approach, well, it can also mean you're signing up for the complexity of both worlds. So let's be really specific about what that means in your day-to-day. It means you've got Salesforce updates to manage, and you've got WordPress updates. You have to think about security for both systems, and you have that integration point in the middle that has to be maintained. It just creates more technical stuff to keep an eye on than an all-in-one system. And that brings this whole conversation right to your doorstep. You have to ask yourself, honestly, does my team have the time and skills for this? Or do we have the budget to pay someone else to handle this extra layer of complexity? Now, beyond just the architecture, there are a few other things to keep on your radar. Because idealAMS is a newer brand, even with that long company history, it doesn't have independent reviews on sites like G2 yet. You also have to be careful to calculate the total cost of ownership. That means factoring in separate Salesforce licenses and WordPress hosting, not just the subscription fee you see up front. Look, it is so important to frame these points the right way. For one association, a dual platform system might be a complete deal breaker. But for another one that is desperate for that design flexibility, it might be a totally acceptable trade. It all comes down to your specific context. And that brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole explainer, the critical questions that only your team can answer to figure out if this is a real fit for your specific world. First, you've got to weigh your priorities. Is having complete pixel-perfect control over your website and member portal a non-negotiable for you? Or do you value the operational simplicity of a single system more? Next, you've got to get real about the budget. Have you looked past that initial price tag? Have you actually mapped out the 5-year total cost, including all those separate pieces and the staff time it's going to take to manage it all? And then take a hard look at your team's skills. Do you truly have the expertise in-house? Or are you ready and willing to outsource the management of this kind of environment?
And finally, how do you feel about risk? Are you comfortable relying on the vendor's references, especially given their long company history? Or does the lack of those independent third-party reviews feel like a major red flag for your organization?
So, here's the bottom line. idealAMS is a really compelling choice for a very specific kind of organization. But whether it's effective for you, that depends entirely on your answers to those questions. It's about your team's tech skills, your real-world budget, and your big-picture strategic goals. You know, in over 2 decades of doing this, I've seen this exact scenario play out. An organization falls in love with the power and flexibility of a system like this, but they completely underestimate the day-to-day work required to run it. They choose it for the possibilities, but end up regretting the operational reality. The right answer for you isn't going to be found in another sales demo. It's going to be found in a diagnosis of your organization's readiness. Go to smartthoughts.net and book a free 20-minute consultation. We'll help you assess whether idealAMS truly aligns with your structure, your growth plans, and your budget.